To me, it was just an epic way to finish the game. And I love the fact that it was Tarkowski who went up there, because it's the unlikeliest of heroes who actually got that type of a finish. It's a beautiful strike. It's not an easy technique to pull off. And I'll tell you this, when you're out there on the pitch in front of 40,000 fans, anything can happen. And to see that type of a reaction was quite remarkable. At Doucouré, you just simply can't do things like that.
With it being the last Merseyside Derby at Goodison Park, here's the final record between the two clubs at that lovely old stadium. I mean, this is crazy. 41 wins each, 38 draws each, 143 goals for Everton and 149 goals for Liverpool. So little to tell between the two sides. Let's hear from David Moyes with his thoughts on that battling draw for Everton in front of their own fans.
As an Everton manager, I had some brilliant times here before. Unbelievable times as a manager. Some of the wins, probably winning the semi-final of the FA Cup on penalties against Manchester United would rank very highly. But I think tonight, because I'm just back as well and having very little time with the players and understanding, I think seeing the growing impact the players are having on the supporters and the supporters, the impact they're having on the players as well. I think for me that's the big thing. We want to get back to being a big club again. We're not there yet. We've got a long way to go. We've got to do a job this year, first of all, of being a Premier League club, and then we have to try and look to kick on.
Ian, I know it's a Merseyside derby, it's easy to get up for a game like that, but how much credit to Everton for being able to come back into it?
Yeah, sometimes you can get yourself up for games like that a little too much, and it can get the better of you, the passion. Certainly did in my career when I played in front of big audiences, and especially in those derby games.
You flew a little close to the sun, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd have been straight in there at the end of the game. I mean, listen, the atmosphere was epic. This derby has been epic at Goodison Park, and Goodison Park has been very good for this derby game. Let's not forget that. But it's been very good for Everton Football Club in many ways. It's kept them in the league so many times. That unbelievable atmosphere, the energy at Goodison Park, the way they managed to get their team into games sometimes. And it happened yet again in this rivalry again. You go to the closing stages, we're in stoppage time, and you're just wanting that joyful feeling one last time. And I can promise you that everybody who's not a Liverpool fan was an Everton fan when that goal went in the back of the net. The feeling was epic. The moment was epic. It was a brilliant way to finish what I call one of the most historic derbies in world football, especially at Goodison Park, on the right note.
You and I said when he got the job that David Moyes to Everton, going back to Everton, was a great appointment. And he's proven that so far. He's turned this team around so quickly. Fabulous.
And an immediate reaction as well. And, of course, I love the question there. And you heard the words from David Moyes about being one of his more joyful moments as a manager on the sidelines at Goodison Park. And he's had a few special moments, certainly. But coming back to a football club when they're in desperate need of points, in desperate need of some sort of a reaction, and then getting the type of reaction that he's actually got. I mean, you only have to go through the results. I know they lost against Bournemouth in the FA Cup recently. It was a disappointing performance from them. But to get the result against Tottenham, Brighton, then Leicester, and to actually have victories like that and finish off a derby game the way they did do, there's fight, there's desire, there is passion, there's belief back in Evertonians. And it's wonderful to see that a new manager who has history at that football club gets reappointed. To me, it's a great story right now. But I give a lot of credit to the way Everton played in that game. You could see at the end of the game what it meant to the players. Clearly, the celebration from Doucouré was absurd. You should never, ever do something like that. But I can only imagine what I would have done in a situation like that. I'd probably still be there now.
Let's talk through the goal from James Tarkowski, because at the end of the day, he is a centre-back. He's obviously gone forward. He has scored goals in the past. He is one of those centre-backs who does contribute. It's normally with his head from corners because he's a big lad.
Yep.
But the finish was superb with all of the pressure that was on him.
Yeah, I mentioned it already before. This was his 100th appearance for Everton in the Premier League, which is a special moment for him. But the fact that he decided to just gamble, he just went for it. He just ghosted in there. There was one Liverpool player that just switched off, and that was Darwin Núñez. He didn't track the run from Tarkowski, and I'm not blaming Núñez. Maybe I would if I was a Liverpool fan. But at the same time, you've got to have the gut and the desire to just want to go ahead and try and make something happen. Why not if you're that defender?
What I'm saying as well is if that ball had fallen to, say, Beto or Njai, you know, the goal scorers in the team, and he'd missed, you'd have said, oh, well, that's a huge opportunity that's just gone because it's fallen to one of our best players in front of goal. But Tarkowski, you're almost just hoping that he gets it anywhere near the goal, let alone on target.
Listen, if he'd have put it in row Z, no one would have expected anything else, right? They would have expected a defender to go up with a strike like that and to probably miss the opportunity. But the fact that it was him, right? right? The ball comes over. You know what makes it even more special? The fact that the video review tried to intervene with that. I know many people out there are asking where automated offside is right now. That was onside. Clearly, you could see it from one of the camera angles more clearer than the other angle. But to me, it was just an epic way to finish the game. And I love the fact that it was Tarkowski who went up there, because it's the unlikeliest of heroes who actually got that type of a finish. It's a beautiful strike. It's not an easy technique to pull off, because you've got to think of the moment. You're in a derby game, the last one at Goodison. It's a defender going forward. Everything has to go right for you to be able to even make contact on the ball. And then once you've made contact, you've got to find a way into the back of the net. Epic finish, epic goal, great moment. And this is why we love our beautiful game.
Huge frustration for Liverpool after that, and I'll echo what you said. It was a fabulous game to watch, but obviously there was frustration with what they saw and the fact that they didn't able to hold on to all 3 points and go 9 points clear at the top of the table. This is what Virgil van Dijk said. It's very disappointing to lose it in the last second of the game or even over in extra time. It is what it is. It's not easy to accept it in the manner of how, but we take it and we go on. We all know this is their cup final, and they will do everything in their power to try and win against us. You know, he's suggesting there obviously that Everton really lift their game whenever they play Liverpool. Doesn't matter where the two sides are in the table, and that is true. But how much of a blow do you think this is to Liverpool in the title race? Is this a killer blow? Does this give some other teams some confidence that they can catch them, or it doesn't really matter?
Listen, as I mentioned already before, I think everybody who is not a Liverpool fan was an Everton fan in that moment. And I can only imagine the teams that are trying to catch up to Liverpool in the Premier League right now were hoping that they would have that type of a finish where, you know, Liverpool would drop points when it looked like they weren't going to drop points. They found a way to win the game. You know, I think Liverpool are desperately disappointed that they didn't win that game. I don't know how that's going to affect them going forward. Obviously, they're lucky they've got a home game against Wolves coming up for them on Sunday. They should rebound pretty quickly from that, but you never know what can happen, how the heads are after going back into the dressing room. Obviously, you're now missing some key players with suspension. What's going to happen with the manager as well on the sideline? All of these things can come into play for Liverpool Football Club as they go forward. And let's not forget, after that Wolves game, the schedule gets a little bit more difficult. You've got an away game against Aston Villa, an away game against Manchester City, and then you've got Newcastle at home. So we're going to find out a lot about this Liverpool Football Club team and how they want to respond from adversity, conceding what would and should have been 3 points for them at Goodison Park.
I'm going to play devil's advocate and make what might be a little bit of a controversial take, that actually this could help them in the title race. We've seen it in the past. We saw it with that Jose Mourinho Chelsea team a few years ago. Antonio Conte as well did it. When you've got a sense of injustice, how has this happened? How have we lost this? How have we drawn this? How have we conceded a goal like that? How have we let a red card go like that? It can spur teams on to performances that you didn't think they were capable of. And Liverpool have obviously been fabulous this season, great to watch. And I do, you know, regardless of what happened, even if they'd lost this game, I still think they were heavy favourites to win the title. But they might, you know, we saw what Virgil van Dijk said there in the post-match. They might take this and feel like, oh, how on earth did that happen? And use it as power to get them through those next few difficult games.
They're going to have to, because, of course, having a reaction is going to be important for them. And I think if you go into this Wolves game with any type of lacking in confidence, then anything can happen, because Wolves are a dangerous team under the new manager, so anything can really happen in those games. I expect Liverpool to rebound.